billion through tax penalty. More of that in the New Vision. Moving forward, the Daily Monitor. Savers fake death to get NSSF money, according to a new finding and new report. The Daily Monitor is highlighting that at the front page today. Then A-level exams, smooth start to senior 6 exams. That is still with the Daily Monitor as well. And then a pictorial of Congolese refugees flooding Uganda border. That is at the front page of today's Daily Monitor. Then in the Rainbow magazine, Uganda's first table tennis world champ. And in terrorism, suspect in Queen Elizabeth Park shooting charged in court. In the other news, still at the front page of the Daily Monitor Tuesday edition, Nsenene, should we count losses or keep hopes alive? As 45 arrested at the Nyege Nyege festival. Kentwanen on Sunday. Let's cross to Kenya now. The Daily Nation. Controversy. Galana Energies Limited says consignment was to meet country's requirements as forgery claim in 17 billion Kenyan shillings fuel saga is highlighted there. Then also Green Future. President Ruto sets Kenya on path to 15 billion trees target. Then top lawyers just for upcoming JSC vacancy. More of that in the Daily Nation. Then heroic woman swims across flooded Tana River to deliver son in hospital. Wow, an interesting report there. And the Daily Nation is giving you more of that. That is in Kenya. Let's go down to Tanzania now. The Citizen. Rains expose Dar master plan flaws. How about that? That is with the Citizen newspaper. Then Mijiro wins praise for plea on quality education in Africa. Then there is an interesting report on how regulator is preparing for universal health insurance as the top United Nations official wants innovative solutions to humanitarian crisis. That is with the Citizen from Tanzania. Well, that is it for the GMU Business Update this morning, as well as what is making headlines at the front pages of the various papers in Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. Elsewhere, still on Good Morning Uganda this particular hour, let's get into our traffic updates with Olive Monica Najuma.
That's right. This is the moment where we give you traffic updates, and because of the traffic manenos or chaos or whatever you want to call it that happened yesterday, I would still like to have a look at how things are looking for our friends that are coming in from the areas of Bugolobi, areas of Nsambia and surrounding areas. How are they accessing the city? We'd like to have a look at areas of 8th Street, 6th Street to see, is it better than it was yesterday? So starting off along Mukwano Road, going ahead, we are going to be seeing the best routes and how the traffic situation looks this morning. Now, looking at Mukwano Road, you can still see that there is red zones there indicating traffic jam that has already started this early morning on this route. And this traffic jam continues up ahead all through Mukwano Road. Now, around the intersection of Mukwano Road and Press House Road, I want us to pay close attention to this area because on both sides of the road it is red and a deep red. Deep red usually means that the traffic is intense in this area. Now, looking at Mukwano Road and even Press House Road, unfortunately for the users, they are stuck in a traffic jam this morning because it is intense. I don't see any green zones anywhere yet, meaning that whoever is at this section right now is being affected because the traffic this morning is intense. Now, yesterday, I happened to talk to some people and some of them told me they were stuck within industrial area for like 1 hour in the same spot. The same happened to me here at Nile Avenue. So this morning seems to have something from yesterday, because as we look at 8th Street, there is traffic jam that is coming through and even going through 8th Street. Now I would like us to look at where the rest of 8th Street is and what it looks like. And the good news is that it actually looks green for the most part, meaning that there is actually smooth flow of traffic that side, but where it joins Mukwano Road, that's where the problem is, because as you can see that small roundabout over there, all the roads that are joining it, both from Zambia, 8th Street, 6th Street, all of them have a deep traffic jam coming through. Now moving on to we have a look at Access Road as it still joins that roundabout that takes you to Mukwano Road and to Ginger Road. There is traffic jam coming through over there, but I want us to still pay more attention to 6th Street and see what it is looking like this morning. Now starting with 7th Street over there, you can see that there are deep red zones on both sides of the road, so it doesn't matter if you're coming to town or if you're going to the ends of Bugolobi. The traffic is intense this morning. So if you're still at home and you haven't yet moved, probably you might think about getting alternative routes, because 7th Street actually, unlike 8th Street, 7th Street has a traffic jam all the way through. Now let me bring it closer there, you will see that all through 7th Street, you're going to encounter traffic jam. You see that green zone, it is right at the tail end, meaning when where you start from to the point where you get that green zone, you might have lost more than 30 minutes in traffic jam and in the same spot. Now let's go back and have a look at 6th Street this morning and see what it looks like. And the bad news is that there is intense traffic jam on this one. It is actually worse than what we have seen on 7th Street, meaning you will be held up in one spot for a while, so you need to really think carefully about your routes. Actually, some people are advised to instead go to town and circle back if you're coming to the areas of Ginger Road, because if you use the normal routes you've been using, you might be held up, because I need us to remember that parts of Bugolobi, like Old Portable Road, has been closed off, so you cannot access the city going through Bugolobi. So if you do this, you're going to find yourself in this traffic jam where you're going to lose a lot of time on the road. So probably the best route for you this morning could be going to town and then you circle back to Ginger Road if that's what you want to do. But now I would like for us to still have a look at Ginger Road and how it joins Access Road and then Yusufule Road this morning. And still the story continues, traffic jam everywhere. Even Yusufule Road has a deep red zone, meaning we might be experiencing what we experienced yesterday morning. It is a deep red zone up until the roundabout that connects you to Nile Avenue. But if you're going to the ends of the golf club, then you may be in luck, because after that roundabout around Garden City, then things look good for you, so you might be able to get to where you're going in record time, as long as you get through the traffic jam at that roundabout. And going ahead around Golden Tulip, you can see that there is a traffic jam over there, but mainly around the traffic lights. And after that, you should be able to move along in record time. Well, that's it for the traffic updates. Thank you so much for being a part of Good Morning Uganda. We are still giving you more. And like Jerome Paul said, we have something beautiful coming your way. We are organizing and trying to make sure that we spice up things. And this spice to your morning is coming your way. All you have to do is to sit tight and look out for it, because you will not be disappointed. Upcoming is The Agenda by Robert Chirabo, and I'm Olive Monica Najuma.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC. was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
A new dawn on Behind the Headlines with me, Timothy Nyangweso. Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala, we have conversations that have analysis, explanation, but not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
all on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
This plan, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and if it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Previously, in most of these areas that we had prioritized, farmers would produce, but you don't access market because the roads are not there. So you have the middlemen that would have access, and they persevere to go into those deep in the villages, and they buy with their own prices. They can go there and set prices for you, and yet you are the ones who have produced this food. But now this time with the market linkages, people can now access market, because we have bridges that were, streams that were bottlenecks to access by the farmers. Yet has constructed bridges, so farmers can now reach market.
I've seen a number of community members out there that have formed themselves into groups and have identified enterprises, agricultural enterprises, rice and all that, and they've actually been successfully cultivating them. They've gone ahead, the project has gone ahead and also introduced small-scale industries like the rice huller, the grinding mills, and all that are managed by the groups. All these are successes.
City market lies in 4 acres of land with a population of about 4,000 registered market vendors who are doing business in this facility. We really appreciate the initiative of the government to come up with this project that is benefiting not only the business community within the market, but the entire community within actually sub-region. When you look at the market previously, the market used to be not like this one. With the market vendors, they used to sell under papyrus reeds. And we used also to ferry our goods, come and sell, then you take it in the stores or elsewhere. But now, due to this infrastructural development, the vendors now, they are able now to sell, cover your goods, leave it there, and you come and get it the next day when it is safe. The safety of our goods and the convenience of doing business has improved greatly. That makes the local community very, very, very happy when they are doing business in the market now. I want to appeal to my fellow vendors and the community of the entire Chile sub-region that we need to embrace and support the government so that they continue also bringing us more development in our region.
Actually, Zono Industrial is one of the presidential initiatives which is brought here in Achule land to skill our youth. The skilling is free of charge. What you really need, you have to be within the age of 18 to 35. They don't need any requirements apart from being willing. You have to be willing, and a youth who is willing to get the skills. The courses we have started with only 4. That is tailoring, hairdressing, carpentry, and welding. First intake, we registered 212, we admitted, 212 students from 10 administrative units of Acholi. These students, they recruited them from different districts within the Acholi sub-region. If we continue with this cooperation, many beneficiaries will pass through us, and they will go with enough skills and non-skills which will change them and later bring them into an economy. We shall really fight poverty in that way.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
This Preno, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and if it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Previously, in most of these areas that we had prioritized, farmers would produce, but you don't access market because the roads are not there. So you have the middlemen that would have access, and they persevere to go into those deep in the villages, and they buy with their own prices. They can go there and set prices for you, and yet you are the ones who have produced this food. But now this time with the market linkages, people can now access market, because we have bridges that were, streams that were bottlenecks to access by the farmer.
A lovely morning to you, and thank you so much for keeping with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda. I'm Robert Chirabo-Nyonyitono, and this morning we are going to be discussing something very important to every Ugandan who will at one time own a car or a motorcycle or any engine worth moving on the road, because we also have tricycles, the tukutukus, anything that must have a number plate. Now, last week, part one, we saw government of Uganda, and to be more specific, the Ministry of Works and Transport, together with the company that is going to be running the number plates with enhanced features. Some commonly call them digital number plates, but I want to call them number plates with enhanced features. And joining me on set this morning to discuss this, I have the Principal Communications Officer, Ministry of Works and Transport, Susan Kataike, the lady who has so much been very energetic and passionate about this whole issue. Now that we had the launch, Susan, first and foremost, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Now, we saw that launch happen, and now we no longer have questions whether it will happen or it won't happen. That is done and dusted. But there are a few questions that are in the minds of Ugandans that we shall address very briefly. To begin with, we remember a brief history that when we had so many shootings of prominent people in this country, His Excellency came up with a number of measures, and among them were to ensure that we have these number plates with enhanced features. Now, the question to many Ugandans is, how are these number plates going to work to ensure that we have the reason why we are actually having them? Because it's not about fashion that Ugandans have digital or number plates with enhanced features.
Well, Ruben, once again, thanks for having me on UBC TV. And of course, thank you for giving us this opportunity to always enlighten people about government policies and programs. And I would like to start by making a clarification. Now, this project is under two ministries. The project is under Ministry of Works and Transport and Ministry of Security. Now, Ministry of Works and Transport comes in terms of the registration of the motor vehicles, because it's the mandate of the ministry to do the registration of vehicles. Then, of course, there's the second part, which is now the security aspect, which is the responsibility of Ministry of Security. And Ministry of Security, of course, works together with police and so many other security organs. So there are two components to this project. And then, secondly, they are digital plates. Actually, we have some people referring to them as digital plates. Others are calling them. Others say digital plates. Others are saying they are. Because this is technology. Technology is changing each and every day. So why do we have to come to this? It's because the world is changing, and the world is changing in a technological and digital way. So as you rightly said, the president made that pronouncement, and these two ministries have been working on this project since 2019. So it is after these 2 years, after going through so many things back and forth, that finally on the 1st of November, government was able to launch the rollout of the digital plates. And if I may say, yes, we started quite well. Of course, initially it was that we would start at once, both government vehicles and private vehicles. But as you've been listening and watching and hearing what's going on in the minds of Ugandans, what's going on in Parliament, so many discussions have been going on. And one of those, of course, was the issue that let's not start with all vehicles at the same time. So, of course, government listened, and government decided that, okay, let us start with the government entities. And even with those government entities, we've not started with all government entities. We've started with 3 ministries. That is Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Security, and of course also police. Those are the, and President's Office. We've started with three agencies of government. So we started the rollout on 1st November, and I can say that we are moving quite well. And those who've so far had their vehicles, who've had the new plates fixed onto their vehicles, actually can attest to what's going on. And the technical people who are able to go into the back end and see what's going on they are giving good a thumbs up to the technology. So we wait for now 1st of Feb 2024 when we will roll out to the entire country. So that's where we are right now.
Now that said, Susan, in the minds of many Ugandans, you and me and a number may know the purpose of these plates. But you still have a bigger chunk of our public that will really question what exactly is intended. Why did we take this direction? How effective is this going to be? More so that it involves cost on behalf of Ugandans, either who will be buying new vehicles, new motorcycles, and those that will be moving to the new plates.
Now, of course, as you rightly said, how this project started was it was birthed by the president, and of course the issue was insecurity and the rampant deaths that were going on, and he sought for a way to curb, because if you notice, even Madame Kajezi, it is only the other day that they eventually found the killers. But what mode of transport were these killers using? They were using motorcycles, they were using vehicles. But it reached a point where it was difficult to track them. Why? Because by that time we did not have the kind of technology that has now been introduced that can help police and other investigative agencies to do their work. So with the new system, with the introduction of the intelligent transport monitoring system. By the way, again, before I go to that, the intelligent monitoring system is not really only about a number plate. It's not just about a digital number plate. That number plate has other components that work with it. One, the plate is there. It has an inbuilt chip. Then there is the onboard device and the Bluetooth and the track, which has Bluetooth, and there is that tracker which now communicates the information from the vehicle to the command center, such that they can have real-time information about location, about anything that's going on with that vehicle. So, as I was saying, the president had that in mind. The government needed a system that would help, one, reduce criminality, two, track down those criminals that use vehicles, that use motorcycles to engage in criminal acts. Then, of course, there is also need to manage traffic within the city. and within the country. You know, usually humans by nature, when they are watched, they become, there's a way they align themselves. So right now, with the implementation of the Intelligent Transport Monitoring System, there are several things that are going to be able to happen. One is that there will be limited interface between the police and the public. People have been complaining a lot about police, about bribes, about taking money from them. But now the system will be the one saying that Susan has just passed this light, she ran a red light, and your car will be captured, the time and the crime that you have committed. So it will be communicated to you via either SMS or whatever form of communication that will be required for you to know that you've violated this rule or this regulation, and this is the fine, and you will be expected to pay. Then too, of course, when somebody in a vehicle commits a crime, because people use the vehicles to commit, some use vehicles, some use motorcycles to commit these crimes. Now, the system is built in a way that it can track. It can track the vehicle throughout the time that the information is passed on to the people in the command center that either this person is of interest or the system has seen and you've been flagged off for different reasons. So you will be able to be tracked. So these are some of the things that government is looking at. And there is a general belief that, of course, this will reduce on criminality. It will help people to come in line with the regulations, with the policies, with the laws, with the rules. Why? Because human beings by nature have that in them. When I know I am being watched, there are certain things I will not do. I will align myself. So government is trying to achieve several things through the Intelligent Transport Monitoring
And I love
system.
the word you've used, which is reduce, because we had CCTV cameras installed. They could have done some. We had SIM card registration in the bid that this will reduce, but we still have these challenges. And I usually ask myself, have cameras served the reason why they were put on our streets in our country, why we invested billions of money in this project? The ongoing SIM card registration, has it served the purpose? And will these number plates with enhanced features serve the purpose? Now, currently you've said till 2024.
First Feb 2024.
First Feb 2024. Now we are just having government and the few agencies you've talked about. Now when it clocks 1st Feb 2024, very soon we are getting into
It's
that.
not very far.
It's not very far, just couple of about
3 months, about 3 months.
3 months there.
Yes.
Now, what then will happen?
So, of course, the initial plan was that beginning of 1st November, which is now going to be 1st Feb, all vehicles that will be entering the country from the different border points, they will have registration plates. But those vehicles come in two categories. There are those that come when they have paid all their taxes. By the time they reach the border, they have paid all their taxes. So if you've paid all your taxes, when you reach the border, a registration plate will be fixed on your vehicle, such that from the moment you drive in, for you already have a registration plate on your car. Then there is another category of those who do not pay all their taxes, and I think these are the ones you are worried about, those who, the car importers, those who bring in vehicles and only pay taxes when I, the buyer, goes into the bond, I want to buy a car, then I give them all the money, and then they process and do the taxes. Now, at that point, after the registration, after the paying of all the taxes, then they will be able to apply for a registration plate. Because before, people would pay and then just go to URA, they make the payment and go to the manufacturers, the current manufacturers of the number plates, and they give them the number plates and they go and fix them on their vehicles. But this time, what you will do is apply online. Your vehicle will be assigned a registration plate. Then, in those bonds where these vehicles are parked, there will be a team. There will be teams in the different bonds, that will fix those number plates within the bonds.
Problems.
What problems?
Now, when we look at this car industry, and Susan, if you are to look at the bonds that we have today, where are we going to get this manpower? Don't you think this is going to, in one way, affect this business? I was looking at the top taxpayers for this country, and among the top 5 are these car dealers. So we have over 1,000 bonds. Let's not look at Kampala alone. When you go to Masindi, when all these bonds, how are we going to have this technology there, the equipment, the manpower?
Well, I want you to, I would love for the audience to understand that this project is being rolled out in a phased manner. Now, we will have different locations, even within Kampala. We are going to have like 4 locations within Kampala, different locations. Then, remember we have the border points. The border points have registration points. Then, throughout the country, you see, just like we started with the driver's licenses, right now somebody can get their driver's license in Fort Portal, in Gulu, in Mbale, in Jinja, in Arua. So it's the same.
Not forgetting the many that don't have.
Exactly. Of course. It is the same trend that we are following. And also, of course, as I said, this is going to be rolled out in a phased manner. This project, currently, the service provider has 10 years. Today, if you begin with a few offices, it means that you keep on increasing as the need and as the demand comes. That's what we did with the driver's licenses. As the demand increases, you see which other points you can have these offices such that people can access these services. Because remember, government is trying as much as possible to make sure that services are taken down to the people wherever they are. And this is what this project is also intended to do. So we are going to put up offices within different places within the country. So eventually, I know we will get there. We are just starting. And with the support of Ugandans, we will get where we want to get.
Now, quick one, time is running. So first, now you've talked about if I paid tax, that is done at the border point. If I didn't clear and it's at the bond, they'll apply. Now, what period do we have to ensure that now enforcement, because government is quick with the enforcement sometimes, even when there's a bit of challenges. So what grace period, what period are we giving ourselves that from 1st of Feb till this, every vehicle, every motorcycle must have this type of number plate?
Now, you have to remember that within the country, we have over 1 million vehicles within this country. And government is very mindful of that. And government has said that we will give Ugandans 2 years from the date of implementation. So the first day of implementation is 1st November. So 1st November 2023 to 1st November 2024, that's 1 year. 1st November 2025. Ruben, your car by that time should have a registration plate, the new registration plate. So Ugandans have a grace period of 2 years to change from the old plates that they currently have to get to the new plates.
That is from 1st?
From 1st
November.
From 1st November. But I think since...
But now, since you've said rolling out to the public is 1st February 2024, then the 2 years...
Yeah, that's the correction that I wanted to make. For the public, I believe we shall start from 1st Feb 2024.
Yes.
From 1st 20 Feb up to 1st it will be the next 2020, 2024, 2025 to 2026. 1st Feb 2026, all vehicles should have, vehicles, motorcycles, anything that moves on our roads today that has a number plate should have a registration plate by 1st February 2026.
Well, what are the requirements for one? Of course, we've just said 1st February 2024 is just around the corner, just a few months. So what do I need to have to prepare myself? I could have a car and I'm not importing, it's an old vehicle. What do I need to know as a Ugandan to ensure that I'm not caught on the wrong side of the road?
And now, actually, that is very important for people to know. First and foremost, I don't know if you have a car and if that car is registered in your names as the owner. One of the challenges most Ugandans have is that we buy vehicles and we rarely change the particulars of those vehicles into our names. You can find that somebody bought a vehicle from the bond when they were the first owners in Uganda.
Sometimes even it's in the company name of that bond that someone is driving.
Exactly. And there are those, you find that the vehicle has changed hands like 3 times. So according to now to the new system, the owner of that vehicle is the first owner in whose names it's registered. Of course, regardless of the fact that you bought it, you as the third person. So what we need to currently do as we prepare for this move, make sure you get all your paperwork in order. It will be a requirement for you, if that vehicle is actually yours, to have all the transfers done into your names. You who is the current holder and owner of that vehicle. Make sure that you transfer. And the other important thing that people...
How realistic is that, Susan?
It's very realistic.
Having knowing how, unless you're going to have a way to cater, or people are going to know, because many Ugandans, you find a vehicle that has gone through 6.
Exactly.
And all of these have not transferred.
So
now
correct.
I have to transfer this vehicle. Some are dead, some... And we have a deadline.
Precisely, that's why we are saying 2 years is quite some good time, really. You can't tell me that within 2 years
you haven't gotten paperwork.
Really, 2 years, somebody has failed to get all that paperwork in order. That's why I said that government was mindful of all these things. Give people time, enough time. And also inform them, create awareness that they know what is, and I think that is what partly we are doing right now. So from today, people should know that come 1st Feb 2024, we start now with even voluntary, actually that is called voluntary registration. We are not forcing you, but we would encourage you to make sure that you change your registration plate early enough, such that you avoid the stampede on 1st Feb 2026. Because you see, naturally, again, human beings like doing things at the last minute. So to avoid that stampede, get your registration plate. Within these 2 years, make sure that you get your registration plate, such that you avoid the stampede at the end of the day. So there is that grace period. I honestly don't believe that the time is not enough. It's really enough. And of course, the other aspect that I want people to know, make sure if you are 18 years, you have your national ID. Now, the first document that is now for all government policies, projects, whatever you want from government, the national ID is the #1 document that starts every process. So make sure if you don't have a national ID, get your national ID right. And there are those who have issues with their national IDs, their passports, their driver's license. You have those documents showing different names. Now, the names that are actually considered for any document in government going forward are the names that appear on your national ID. So you should make sure that the names on your national ID are the names on your driver's license. They're the same names on your passport, such that they know that you are the one and the same. So that gives people time to change all this, because those are the things that people are going to have challenges with.
Well, time is not so much on my side. We are having the inter-forces games and the guests have already arrived. Susan, I must let you go. I just want to thank you for your time. We'll have more of these discussions. 2 years is quite a big period for us to do more sensitization regarding this issue. I'll leave room with Ruben to come and take you through sports. See you in the next hour. God bless you.